In most of the movie trailers that have cropped up recently, I've noticed that they always tend to fall into one of two extremes, that is, artsy and all kinds of pretentious, or appealing to the lowest common denominator, with any sort of moderation overshadowed by either meaningful, drawn-out character development, or the sort of testosterone-addled machismo that one has come to expect from action movies. Gravity fell into the former category at first glance, with trailers consisting of Sandra Bullock floating through space in what appears to be a grab at the lowest hanging Oscar available. And, in many ways, it is. Sandra Bullock plays Ryan Stone, a scientist on board a NASA mission gone horribly wrong, and must quickly find a way to escape from a cloud of murderous space junk, against a backdrop of the cosmos that would make Carl Sagan blush like a schoolgirl. I mentioned earlier that the trailer construes the movie as several hours of Bullock floating through space, and, for the most part it is, but she at least has the courtesy to switch up her vessel of choice every so often, presumably to ensure that none of them get too clingy. While the film features the Russian-manned International Space Station, as well as the Russians being responsible for the entire disaster, none of them appear in the movie itself, making it seem that Gravity's knowledge of the country is limited to their love of missiles and vodka, and a Cold War sort of xenophobia that's almost adorable in this day and age. Remember how you always wanted to be an astronaut as a kid? Don't lie, of course you did. This film shows you the spaceships, space suits, and jetpacks that you've always fantasized about, before tearing them all away like the cruel temptress that it is. After about 2 hours, I can guarantee that it will make you want to kiss the ground and appreciate the joys of not being filleted by pointy bits of metal. Like many other movies recently, Gravity is determined to jump onto the 3D bandwagon with gratuitous panorama shots and clunky glasses at a ticket price designed specifically to lighten your wallet. However, unlike other films that usually just settle for a monster jumping out at the audience, Gravity's 3D seems a lot less gimmicky. Unfortunately, this also means that this unpleasant trend won't be ending anytime soon, with producers determined to revive 3D no matter how many times it begs to be let go. I've heard Gravity classified as a thriller, though about halfway through it occurred to me that I was watching a horror movie. Granted, there aren't any cheap jump scares, and the only possible monster is Sir Isaac Newton himself, but the film conveys the terror and tension of space quite well. Our protagonist goes through so many space-based torments that I was fully expecting for the entire ordeal to be part of some kind of odd intergalactic Truman Show. At one point, she even declares, "I hate space," which seems like a much better tagline than the current one, "Don't let go," which is kind of hollow considering that letting go is all the main characters pretty much ever do. Yeah, you get the point. Still, for all of its minimalistic pretentiousness, Gravity manages to do its job quite well. It's atmospheric and well-paced and mainstream enough to be accessible while still being indie enough for the hipsters to watch in bathrooms when they think that nobody's looking. Rocket Man!